Welcome to Using a Script Part 2, and we'll just jump right back in where we finished with Part 1. If you remember, I had a script out there, and I want to point out something on the script before I run it. There's a couple of little hints of what's going on here and some of the power and control that you have. Once I show you this and demo this, then we'll go out and look at how we can actually use this in code in a very real and useful manner. Notice we've got a little hint here. We see this one line. Now, I put a message box in just to show you that this thing fires, but notice one of the things that we're executing here is a DTS task result, and notice we're setting that equal to script results.success, and then we're casting that to an integer. Okay, so keep that in mind. As a matter of fact, that is what is prompting the value or the output that we see on the precedent constraints on the script task. Okay, so it's once it's happened and it's successful, then it's calling that success, and that is firing a message out this particular precedent constraint. So let's run this and just see if it does what we think. Hopefully my data flow task is going to move those 18,484 rows. We're not using that variable as of yet. And then the script task should call up a message box that says done. So that's pretty cool, and once I close it, then that shows as completed and we're good to go. Well, let's add yet another script task, and with this one let's use our variable. Alright, so I will just simply drag another script task on here, and then I'll connect this on the success, and now I'll go in here again. Notice we've got main as our entry point. We're using C#. And this time I'm going to use my variable, so I'm going to tell the script task to look for this, and this is how it's actually going to get passed in from the DTS environment into the script task. Notice user MTL rows, and so now I will edit the script. And once again, this is going to open up and give me my script, and I am going to write some code here. We're going to branch based on the results of this script that we're going to write. Okay, and again, I've mentioned this a couple of times. I'm in a virtual environment here, and yours won't take quite this long. Okay, but I'm kind of straining my processor with what's going on here. But what I want to do here is I want to decide whether to send out a success or a fail or not. And the way I'm going to do that is I am going to, first of all, create an integer called NR. Okay, and integer just for number of rows, and then I am going to set NR equal to, and I'll cast to integer, DTS DTS variables, and then I will just call this literally MTL rows dot value. And so notice what I'm doing there. I'm just saying load NTR, load the value of MTL rows, which is going to be the number of rows that were executed, put it into my variable there, NR. All right, and then just for fun, I'm going to call a message box, and we're going to use our variable NR, and then we'll concatenate that and say rows were processed. And so you can see how to use your variable and how to consume it here. Okay, and notice I didn't close out, so it's going to squawk at me there. There we go. And also you have to spell this right. It's not a message box, it's a message box. Okay, and so now let's go down here, show you a trick. Still works in the scripting environment. I want to write an if statement. I'll type the word if and hit tab twice, and it sets up my code for me. Okay, so I'll say if NR is less than 10,000, then what I want you to do is to call DTS task result and set it equal to int script results dot failure. Okay, so if it's less than that, then give us a failure. Okay, now I'm going to come out here and do an else, and I could have also used my double tab there, but I didn't. And I'm just going to move this success up there, and then I'm going to tab that thing over so that it looks neat. Okay, so notice what's going to happen here. We're going to, when this script runs, we're going to run it, check the rows. If it's less than 10,000, we're going to do a failure. If it's more than 10,000, we're going to assume a success. So I'll close that. After I saved it, I will OK that, and then we will run this, and we will see if we're getting our message box. It shows us our rows. So here we go. We're going to run our data flow task. It's going to generate our rows. Gets passed in. There's the done. Once I click that, we go to the next, and it tells me 18,484 rows were processed. But we didn't see anything happen here because we haven't told it what to do. So I'm going to stop part 2 here. Join me for part 3, and we'll look at using our code to branch.